Otaku. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mal Acevedo, and
wow, you're really going the distance.
Oh my god!
And when I was in high school, I was in a choir and marching band.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! How did you have the time? And I'm Emma Fife, and last night I thought an earthquake was just my cats being rowdy.
My name's Michelle Bradley, and I can drink an entire bottle of soju by myself.
Wow.
I'm almost an alcoholic.
I think I did drink an
I don't
entire
think it's
bottle of
almost. I
soju
think
by
that you
myself.
crossed that threshold for sure.
I can, just not. I don't.
I'm Yume Warlock, and I'm getting a root canal tomorrow.
Whoa! Congratulations!
That's amazing.
And I'm Max Song, and I have run out of facts. That is a fact.
Talk about your jacket.
Yeah.
Oh,
your
my jacket is very nice.
pretty
But,
dope.
Are you
but I
really
did want
that
to say,
uninterested in yourself that you've run out of
Yes.
facts 3 weeks into the show?
100%. I find myself to be very boring. But I did go to marching. In high school, I was in marching band, and in middle school, I was in chorus.
Can I guess? Can I
I
guess?
think next
What? Go ahead.
Saxophone.
No.
No.
Yeah.
You look like a sax.
Clarinet.
No.
That's me.
Trumpet.
Trumpet. What am I doing?
No.
Next guess.
Trombone.
Waterboy.
You already know
I
that.
know it's cheating. I know.
No, I was in drumline.
That's
kind of
Like
cool.
the movie.
Yeah.
What did you
I
play,
played-
Matt?
I
Cool
played
guy.
the xylophone.
Oh.
And then I played there was one time I was on the field, and the only job I had was to hit one very big
Oh, you were in
drum.
pit. You were in pit.
I was
Yeah,
in pit.
I
Oh,
always
yeah.
wanted to be a percussionist. Like when we started to learn the percussion instruments, I did. I wanted to.
So
wow,
common.
I did.
No,
I
they
wanted
were
to
cool
play the
people in the marching
drums.
band, to
I
be
wanted to play
fair.
the drums, and I wanted to play like the xylophone and the vibes. But I already played saxophone, and
Right.
my band teacher was basically like, "No, you have to keep playing saxophone."
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know what's
Wow.
worse than being a marching band?
Believe in your dreams.
I was in silks. She was
Oh.
like,
I
was
I
basically
was
color guard.
I was in color guard.
Oh, that's
I
great.
had the flags, and I went to band camp, and I didn't play
Yeah,
the instruments.
I wanted to be in color guard too,
Yeah.
but
Oh
again,
my
my
God.
band
Wow,
teacher was just like, "No, you
Guys,
have to play
we
the
serve
saxophone."
no-
I was the
Purpose.
entire wind instrument. I can play flute,
Oh.
piccolo, oboe,
Oh.
clarinet.
Nice.
Can you come to the
Yeah.
show
Yeah,
next
yeah.
time dressed as Piccolo playing a Piccolo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, you need it. You need it.
But
Oh,
did you
man.
ever play the fife?
Oh,
Wait, was
I
that
didn't know that was a real thing.
It's a wind instrument.
Instrument, guys. So many
Yeah.
sexual jokes.
Well, we're learning so many things about ourselves today, guys. But this week, and Weekly, guys, we have a few stories for everybody. Remember that everything, if you like what you're seeing, the best way to support this is by subscribing and supporting the channel. Is still September, which is half off all on first-time subs. Support the channel, man. Support the show, and thanks for watching and supporting, anyways, man. And if you have anything, if you have any feedback or if you have comments you want to add on, let us know. We want to hear what you guys think. And then we're going to do questions at the end. So keep those in mind, man.
Yeah.
This week in Weekly, the first one, which is very fast turnover and it's very exciting, coming over into Japan, we're going to get a Blade Runner anime. A Blade Runner animated short. Blade Runner Blackout 2022, which is going to be super
Wait,
crazy.
is that the
So
right,
dope.
is that
So
the right year
cool.
for Blade Runner? Or is it 2022?
No, so
No,
Blade
no,
Runner.
no.
So the original. Okay, guys, the original
2049.
Blade Runner is set in 2019.
Yes.
Okay.
And the new
Yes.
Blade Runner is set in 2049.
Nice.
So this is just a few years after the first Blade Runner, and it's totally like canon within
Whoop,
the Blade
whoop.
Runner universe. And it's a story, as I say, that takes place a few years after the original Blade Runner, and it apparently takes place during a power outage. So
Do they-
aptly
Duh.
named
Oh, wow,
Do
that
they
Blade
Blade Runner
animate?
Blackout.
That's awesome.
That sounds like a
2022.
really big problem
I was
in
gonna
a
say,
town
yeah.
of pollution.
Yeah.
Do they animate Harrison Ford or the other one?
Baby Goose.
I believe.
Baby Goose.
As
You would
far
have to
as I
be-
know, this is going to be original characters. So basically, they've already released a
no.
teaser of this, and it is
Original character,
and
no
it is
steal. No steal.
directed by Shinichiro Watanabe,
Yes.
who directed Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. And there's this little teaser clip that was released where basically he explains that Blade Runner was one of the biggest influences on his life as a director, and he's trying to make something that fits into the continuity that pays homage to the original without really being a replicant of it, if
Yeah.
you will.
Of it.
You
Oh,
see what I
I
did
think we
there?
got a little
Please,
teaser
can
right
you
here.
Flip this table. Flip this table right now.
Just look at the trailer. Just look at the
Oopsies.
trailer. Don't
But
listen
yeah,
to
so
it.
you'll see there's some concept art in here.
Oopsies.
There's some young Harrison Ford action.
Oh my god, straight from my closet.
Just did this in 5 minutes.
Do you guys want me to translate this?
I have all these clothes.
I just did this on a weekend just because I felt like it. Just that talented.
したんで、あとこの作品
It looks
そうアニメ
super
版を作るにあたって気をつけた
I'm
こと
actually
が
glad that
2
they're
つあり
making
まして、
an original thing because I don't think I would
ま
want
あ
to see
や
Deckard.
はり一つは
Yeah.
I don't mind if he makes a cameo, but like to have a full story about him really does kind of like change the full canon, even if it is supposedly a part of canon.
Yeah.
Look at this. I just love
The
the
designs look
animation.
amazing.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
guys look like straight up the rebels, like rebels from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, no, they're very Star Wars
They
looking.
have,
Yeah.
very Star Wars hats on.
So, just some quick notes. He was saying, I've been very inspired by this. I don't want it to be exactly like the original. I want it to be inspired by, but not like look exactly like the movie. And it's focusing on 2 new characters. And I kind of forgot about the rest of it because you guys were talking.
Sorry.
Translation finished.
But anyway, so the thing that's crazy about it is they literally just announced this maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and it is airing on Sony Japan's YouTube channel on September 26th.
Yeah.
So this has
Wonderful.
clearly been in development for quite some time.
They've been doing
Yeah,
a great job
Why
keeping it
do
secret.
you
Yeah.
Incredible job.
I feel like
I
they don't
just
feel like
don't
they
know.
need to market it. Like,
Yeah, and they don't.
And
I mean,
I-
remember
they really
Castlevania
don't,
when they were
yeah.
just like, "Hey, Castlevania's coming out in a month," and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, okay."
Castlevania.
Yeah, and
It's great.
and this is
Yeah.
the thing is I agree that I don't think they need to market
Yeah.
it, and I think that
Oh, really?
anime is. It makes perfect sense for Blade Runner
Oh, yeah.
because you're
'Cause it is
all.
so anime.
It is. It already is so anime, and you're already in an LA
Totally.
that has. And I mean, LA itself already has a lot of
It looks
Asian
like that
influence
now.
in our
Yeah.
culture. But it's. I mean, you guys, if
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
never seen Blade Runner, it's this very dark look at LA, and there's like it's extra Asian, I guess,
Yeah,
if
It
you will.
really is, yeah.
It is extra. I would say extra Chinese.
It's extra Chinese specifically.
specifically, but I mean, in a weird way, if you know, from the time of the conception of that movie to what it is now, and just like how China has become an economic power,
Yeah.
you start to see that like, oh, they're not wrong. Like these
No.
are like
I think it's also
very
one of the
interesting
things like
influences.
Blade
That-
Runner had a huge it was a huge inspiration to like Ghost in the Shell.
Of
and all
course.
those
Totally.
came
Oh, yeah.
after it.
Absolutely.
So it's
That
got a
nerd
very
even
specific
mentions in the
look.
chat that Blade Runner anime is a prequel to Cowboy Bebop.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is the thing: is it sort of works?
It sort of
It
works.
could. It could
Yeah.
definitely.
Be awesome.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
we're all gonna like
so
it.
excited.
Maybe they just got really good at their jobs and they just never made replicants ever
Yeah.
again. You know what I mean? They're just like Deckard just got them all, and they're like done.
Yeah.
Until
No more androids.
Jared Leto came along and ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, he does that for everything he's in.
Yeah.
It has to be orc, guys, or I'm out.
Well, you know, I'm very excited for it. I hope you guys are excited for it too. It's coming out very soon.
Yeah.
Next week, right? No,
Yeah,
it's
next week.
It's next week. It's next
next week.
Monday.
Yep.
Next
Tuesday.
Monday.
Next
Next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So we should just watch it instead of
And
doing the show.
yeah, we're just gonna have a group viewing of Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And this video reminds me of something that you know, like the cinematography and the choreography. Excuse me. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of like really cool like stunts and stuff like that. Which we actually, for our next topic, we actually talk about Jason Paul, pro freerunner, and some of Japan's best freerunners as ninjas, like running around doing some cool stuff as an ad, which looks super
Red
dope.
Bull,
So we can
yeah.
show for Red Bull.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Let's check
there
that
it
bad boy
is.
out.
That
Yeah.
they are professional free walkers. Did you know that is a real thing? They have like
Oh my god, this is so
I
amazing.
just love that
Oh,
the
I've
Yoshida
seen this
brothers
ad.
Yeah,
are
Yoshida,
doing
okay,
them.
the Yoshida brothers is doing music as well.
It's very
Yeah.
like Naruto because of the Yoshida brothers.
100%.
Throw Shamisen in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shamisen
That-
rock,
it's-
guys.
They're the only like shamisen rock band
yeah.
that
Cool.
exists. So
Oh, I like that water
check
effect.
it out, Yoshida
This is adorable.
brothers.
So they shot this in a. There's a big
It's
set
Edo
out in Nikko.
Wonderland.
Yeah, there's a bit, and basically you can go in there and look around, like kind of
Yeah.
like an amusement park. But then you can also still
Wait,
shoot
have you been?
here as
Have
well.
you been here? Have you been there?
No, but it's in Nikko. It's not too far.
Michelle
from
went
Tokyo.
to a different.
I went to a different
village.
ninja park,
Oh, okay.
but that wasn't for movie sets. That's
this
just it's
different?
culturally where ninjas were trained.
Oh,
in
that's
Iga in
cool.
Shiga Prefecture. And you can go there and just like a ninja, and it's really awesome.
Straight up, it's legit. I
is
want to
so
go
legit.
and play around so bad.
I
Like,
wish
Yeah.
I could do one flip. That's all
I
I.
wish I could
I'm
jump like that and just get on
Yeah.
the roof. Like
Can
a
I-
simple thing.
Can I just make one critique?
yeah.
The guy they're chasing is wearing a baseball cap and jeans. And
That's because he
That's 'cause
is.
he's the not
he's
ninja.
He went back in time. The
But
premise is that he went back in time.
Yeah, he went back in time.
And he has
That's
the
not
energy
clear.
to escape them because
Oh,
Red
that's because
Bull.
this is in the middle of the. This is actually in the middle of the video. This video is like 6 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Very
super long. It's a very
So
long
I had to
video.
cut it out to like just basically the good parts
Okay,
of the
so
ninjas.
my critique is invalid, and I had obviously not watched this video before we started the show. So there we go.
No, you're still allowed.
Ninjas
It's like,
love hats.
I
It's like,
really
you know, a
hate-
kid in
that.
Aladdin's
I
Palace
actually
or
hate
something like
baseball
that.
hats on people.
Some of these guys aren't wearing forehead protectors.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
my
know what
critique.
village they're
Well,
from. They could be
How
from
can I
any
tell? Are they
village.
from cloud or sound?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is that? Does that count as free running if you're just falling and you die?
I'm not just free falling.
Oh yeah, here
Death
it
is my best move.
Oh.
And it was all a dream. He just passed out,
Oh,
dude.
that guy's hair is so cute. Look at the little spike goose.
It is really cute.
So that's cool that they're able to like go and film there, and we can still people are still able to film there
Thanks,
as well.
Red
I think
Bull.
it's
Awesome.
yeah.
Gives
Thanks,
you
Red. Oh,
wings.
was it a dream?
Scooby-Doo.
He doesn't think so. What a crazy coincidence.
That was cool though.
So if you
Yeah,
guys are
so-
if you guys are ever in over there, like make sure to check this kind of stuff out because everyone can
can just
do
go.
it. You can just go.
Yeah.
It's
You can
in
play the-
Nico Tochigi.
Yeah. So Nico is very famous for its shrine. I hate you guys so much.
Shut up.
I
Never
can't.
explain
It's
what we
performance
did.
anxiety.
All right, never mind. Let's keep going.
Yeah, but well, speaking of parks too, Universal Studios Japan is coming out in spring 2018 with a whole nother segment of great like rides and attractions from all of our favorite franchises. They're bringing Sailor Moon, Final Fantasy, Detective Conan, even games like Monster Hunter, and even like Resident Evil. They're bringing a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
a bunch of attractions for that.
So what Universal Studios Japan does so much better than we do over here in America is they have a whole section of the park they developed that's just for switching out for properties.
Yeah.
So I went
That's
maybe
so
4
smart.
years ago, and at that time it was just Evangelion, Attack on Titan, Monster Hunter, and then they had also the Resident Evil escape room, and they just can like switch out shit now, and then like they have themed cafes, and it's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
excited
Oh, there's
that
the little
Sailor Moon's
promo.
coming.
My friend Adam
man.
worked on both the Evangelion temporary installment and also on the Resident Evil escape room, and I mean, I work for Universal here in the U.S. and I wish that we would do something like this. Even,
Yes.
and I
I mean,
understand that in
Now, are
Japan,
we getting
Kind of do.
Marios? Aren't we getting the Marios?
but that's not going to be
That's
a
not-
temporary installment.
Yeah.
That's going to be a full time thing. And I
Yeah.
get that in Japan, the thing that they're doing with the temporary installments is they are showcasing Japanese properties, which is fantastic.
Yes, it's amazing. It's a
I
really
mean,
nice-
don't we kind of do that with like Walking Dead at Universal though? 'Cause-
No.
no.
Walking Dead
They
is a
have that
permanent thing.
Oh, is that a?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
permanent now?
Yeah.
I don't think I need to go through that
Yeah.
more than once, honestly.
It does seem like
Anyway,
they would save some money if
Yeah.
they could just switch out boards.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's kind of cool.
I guess the closest thing that we have in the U.S. is Halloween Horror Nights, which we
Yes.
do in both
Right.
Hollywood and in
Yeah.
Orlando, where, you know, right now on the weekends, if you go, the park closes at 6 and reopens at 7, and it's crawling with chainsaw clowns. And they do have the mazes, but the level of detail
yeah, they're good.
and structure that goes into the Japanese temporary installments is
Yeah.
and this
It's
is the thing.
insane.
Some of the mazes are great, but it's way beyond.
Yeah.
And again, I have not experienced it personally. I know that you have,
Yeah,
Michelle.
I must emphasize it's not just like they switch out cards. Or
No,
anything.
no,
Right,
no, no.
right.
There are like 40-foot statues of Titans,
Yeah.
and there
Yeah.
are and the Evangelion ride. It's a 4D movie, and I was like,
Oh my
this is gonna
God.
be lame. Like whatever, like the chairs being fine.
know,
but
yeah.
then you're like in an Eva getting attacked, and then you get blood. But it's water, but it looks like red blood is
It's
spitting all
splattering
over
on
you,
you.
and I was like
Great.
screaming, like,
Yeah.
I can't believe this is happening.
why don't we have that in
amazing.
America?
No, we need
That's what
that.
we need.
So should we wildly speculate about what we think the
Well, okay.
What the rides are?
I'm wondering if it's actually like the reason we don't have it here in America is because of like licensing
It's
laws.
licensing.
It's like,
No,
oh,
I'm
for
sure
sure,
it
for
is.
sure.
I was gonna say wildly speculate about what like
We
the
ride-
detective.
Oh, what the rides are
gonna
gonna
be
be
like.
like.
Ride is
I
gonna
hope
be-
that the Final Fantasy is you being Sephiroth stabbing Eren.
Yeah.
I
But
hope-
100%
I
want
hope-
that.
You're not Sephiroth. You're the sword. So you just see her. You see
I was gonna say,
Sure.
I hope that the Final Fantasy one, because there's some speculation that this is going to actually be a Final Fantasy VII temporary
I'm
installment.
hoping
So
so. I'm hoping
I
so.
hope that it's just either the snowboarding game or the
Yeah.
crazy motorcycle game.
No, all it is you just collecting clothes for Cloud to drag you.
Yes,
That's all it
I
is.
would
That's
totally
the
do the
experience.
wall
It's all
market
time.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am
Oh
down
yeah,
for that ride.
Akira would be a dope ride. Gumi-sone in the chat says
Yeah.
it would be a really cool ride. I think that Detective Conan will probably be like a cool escape room.
Yeah, I bet that'll be
Yeah,
an escape room.
definitely.
Oh, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon.
I don't
is
know what
probably
Sailor Moon
gonna
would be, to be honest.
Just a giant
3D
sparkly cafe.
A 4D
movie or
movie,
something?
probably.
You
Yeah.
just go in
Yeah.
there and they just throw a bunch of glitter on you. And
I know.
Yeah,
You're a sailor now.
Resident
Kick
Evil
you
could be
out.
like a cool like a ride shooter. Like,
Yeah, the
Resident
Resident
Evil
Evil
one is,
has historically
is
been an
amazing, right?
escape room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
People who
Like,
chase you around.
You get like actual like gun peripherals and everything.
Yeah.
And well,
They
and
just
I mean,
give you a gun
I was
and a
gonna
knife.
say they did one too with Resident Evil one time where you had to like use a data pad, basically an iPad, tablet, what have you, to solve all of these puzzles, and you could actually get them in English.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And it was like a
I
very
heard it was
complicated
impossible.
escape
It was
room.
almost impossible.
Oh,
Yeah, you
man.
have to be paired with somebody who spoke your language, and you didn't. Like you wouldn't know you would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We get some people in chat are saying a chocobo race or bus.
Yeah, I
A
would
chocobo
I
race
would love a
would be
chocobo
amazing.
race.
Chocobo race would be
Yeah, that'd be
awesome.
super fun. Well, guys, that's some of
Final
the
Fantasy
big
VII
news
chocobo
coming
races
out
only.
from your Weeb Weekly, guys. And now this week, what do you guys have any hot takes for us this week?
hot takes. Do we not have a song for this? Hot takes.
don't
Sorry
know
if you
if we
guys can't
agree
hear me.
on
I'll
the
talk a
song.
little louder. My hot take, which is not anime related, it's a little bit anime related, is that I just finished Undertale. I'm like 2 years behind. I'm
Nice.
sorry.
Yeah.
And it does have anime related shit in it. There's a girl who's really obsessed with anime in it, and it was really cute. All right, I did not believe in it, and then I finished it today on stream, and I was like, "Fuck!" I cried. I had a little black tear fall on my face. It was very good.
The question is,
VV
what
good.
ending did you get?
I did
true.
pacifist.
Pacifist.
I did true pacifist. So I did
You
the
have to.
regular shitty ending,
You
and then
have
I got the second good ending.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm fucking done with this game.
Yeah.
Well, my hot take for the week is that one of the first anime anything that I ever saw is now on Crunchyroll, and that is Robot Carnival. If you were a weeb in the 90s, you probably saw Robot Carnival on the Sci-Fi Channel, followed by Vampire Hunter D. They used to run them all the freaking time,
Yeah.
and I woke up at 4 a.m. and couldn't fall asleep. So I rewatched about half of Robot Carnival before.
Today?
Yeah, I did this morning before going to work an 8-hour shift, and now
Oh
here
my
we
gosh.
are.
That's pretty much
But
How
it's
are you
you know
so
what?
awake?
It's so good, you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of the
Robot
shorts
Carnival.
are created equal, certainly,
bunch of shorts.
but yeah, it's an anthology series.
It's so
it's
great.
old. I had to
About
study it in
robots?
college.
yeah, it's yeah. It's about they're all about robots.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sweet.
if you've
I'm
never
down
watched
with
it,
that.
I highly, highly recommend you check it out. It's definitely a classic piece of sort of anime cinema, and it is not region locked, so it should be available anywhere that Crunchyroll is available.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I played here at Hyper RPG. I got to stream Project Octopath Traveler, which is the Square Enix game coming out for Nintendo Switch next year, potentially next year. I feel like it'll probably get pushed back, but I gotta say that demo, it's free on the Switch. It is an incredible demo. It left me wanting so much more. The art is beautiful, and I gotta say, like, Primrose's story is a great story, and the voice acting is actually really well done. I really enjoyed this game, and it left me wanting so much more, and I can't freaking wait. Like, the mechanics felt good too, like just using the brake and stuff like that, and like I learned after you brake you can like combo even more. It was just an incredible experience, and I cannot wait. And it gives you like a good preview of like each character. The two that you can play as, there's 8 characters. Like, it gives you a good sense of what their story is, but it's awesome, and I cannot wait for that full game, man. It's just I just want so much more. I want it now.
Sorry, we're talking about video games on anime, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's the same. I mean,
Same.
go ahead.
My
Yeah,
hot
yeah,
take
yeah.
Phoenix?
is basically both the things. I remember when they had that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like
Oh yeah, the
band
dating
thing?
sim.
So I downloaded the demo and I played it, and guys, so it's gonna be free. The people who are doing it, it's just they just do stuff through Patreon, and they're like, well, we don't own the license, so we're just gonna make it. I played the first one they released out. It's really good.
I'm
the art is
so excited
good.
to play it.
I was so like, the music is good. The
Oh.
art is almost dead on to the anime. It's
Would you date a
amazing.
JoJo's?
That's some
yes.
real love.
Yeah.
If you're
There
going
was
to
a
make
lot of love and
whole
care.
dating sim game,
Yeah.
and you're going to be accurate with the art, like, man, you really love some JoJo.
Yeah,
Nice.
they really nail
JoJo!
all the characters.
That's what I was.
Do
reading.
they really nail all the characters?
Yeah, you.
Hey,
I nailed
nice,
the
nice.
Roll with
characters.
your eye.
No, but
Maybe
but
the show?
the reviews that I have read of it said
It's
that
great.
it just hits the
Oh.
tone of the
Oh,
anime
man.
so
Because like,
well.
and all the music, I have to give props to whoever did the music. It is a very much '90s music. They hit
love
that
it.
shit so well. I was like,
Cool.
oh my god.
That's
Oh, boy.
amazing.
Excited to play.
I'm actually weirdly excited to play
I'm
it as
so-
well. Look, I need some romance in my life. Speaking of romance, so I've been watching Recreators, and I've been loving it. It's been very interesting. It's really hard to tell because it's like so out there. Because it's about if you guys don't know anything about Recreators, it's basically about like anime characters from their like perspective series coming into the real world and then meeting the people that have like created them, and then you realize and then the whole in the beginning, it's just about like why are they here? But
Yeah.
now they've like kind of created this whole they call it the cage, and they're trying to, I guess, the concept, which is a more powerful like fan character, like a Hatsune Miku or whatever that just went viral, has all the power, and she just constantly stacking powers now, and so they have to create this whole elaborate storyline to trap her in the real dimension, so that the other dimension doesn't split this dimension apart, and it's crazy. And it's like
We're
it's
all just
gotten
staring
so
at Max like,
bonkers.
I know.
It's gotten so crazy.
Because I
So
watched
we
like,
should
the
watch
first
it, is what
couple
you're
of
saying.
seasons,
Yeah.
first couple episodes, and it was really good.
Okay.
But I haven't
Yeah.
gotten to where you got.
The animation is really great. I think it's pretty smart because there's a lot of like, there's a lot of action, but then it balances with like kind of production of anime and like what it means to like
Nice.
have a creation like anime and what it does for the fans, because all their power comes from basically existing in like the fans' hearts and stuff. And you know, like when they write a story, it can only be validated if the fans accept it. So there's like little like rules that they create in the world, and it's
cool.
way smarter than you would assume it was going to be. And so, you know, I would say definitely give it a watch. Now they all have robots.
Cool.
So
That's amazing.
It's hyping up.
I'm there for the robots.
And let us know in the comments below or right now, like what were your hot takes this week? Let us know. We'd love to see like what you thought was great that stood out for you as well.
Yeah, someone said they wanted to know what you thought of Cheer Boys. Matt, have you watched it?
I haven't had a
Okay.
chance yet. I hear great things about it. And I haven't.
All right.
It's okay.
Are they
It's just-
male
just-
cheerleaders in
Yes.
the American sense, or are they male cheerleaders
they're in
the
Japan.
Japanese
they're
sense?
Japanese
just
sense.
in the Japanese
They're just
sense.
like pump
And
up
it's
guys.
not
Yeah.
They're just hype boys.
terribly well
Well, they're wearing the,
animated,
black-
and I don't care about it too much.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be really good, and it was just like,
I'll check it
Yeah.
out though.
That
I'm
makes-
definitely
It's
checking it
no
out.
like free or any of the.
yeah, exactly.
breakout,
The
like,
level's
it's not
over here,
Yuri on
guys.
Ice,
It's over
guys.
here, but okay.
Well, guys, next time on Boruto, we're continuing our talk on
time.
Boruto. Very excited because things Boruto's like heating up, dude. This show's like we talked about last week a little bit, and like I wish we could go a whole hour talking about it. I feel like,
But we're not going.
But we're not
Not
going
going
to.
Until it's
We are
finished
not.
its season.
So last episode was like the end of an arc with Sarada and her
Yep.
parents, and then this episode was Boruto and Sarada kind of dicking around.
Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
was.
I think they're
Well-
like working into like building the team of like. The
Yeah, I
female
agree.
teams.
It was interesting because it
groups.
kind of went back and forth between the action of here are the kids dicking around and trying out their powers, and Sarada
Yeah.
coming to the conclusion that she wanted to be the Hokage,
Yes.
and I, which I love. I love.
Yeah,
Sarada.
I love her.
Um,
It's a good switch aroundsies.
It is. It really
like
is.
that.
Especially because it's so funny to me that Sarada, whose dad Sasuke is probably one of the worst dads
Yep.
alive,
Yeah.
doesn't have the same kind of daddy issues that Boruto does.
Yes.
What is Boruto's deal? He's just
I
like,
know.
I don't want to be
Because
anything
to
like
be
you,
fair,
Dad.
she is like Sasuke's son. I mean Sasuke's daughter, so she, you know, she can
She's
still
kind
has
of
like
like-
that.
That's
it's
true.
Very intelligent personality, and Boruto is just like hypersensitive little child.
I will
In
point
the
out,
Naruto sense.
I feel like it's been so long and so many people ship Naruto and Sasuke that finally it's gonna happen. Their kids are gonna get together. It's gonna
Finally.
make sense, guys. Finally.
I don't know.
It's taken so long. We had to wait 10
Yeah.
years for them
I
to
just-
like kind of.
I also
get
was
some facts to get
very
together.
entertained by the Hokage Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
know, yeah.
It was so
Every
funny.
time, it's like, aren't you gonna run out of mountains after?
Right,
like,
right.
do they have to like shrink the faces to be smaller? Like,
I
it-
wonder if you go back far enough in the manga, if it's actually shorter
Yeah.
and they've just like slowly extended
Made
it
longer,
throughout
maybe.
the
And
universe.
the fact that Boruto was just like a local vandal, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm mad at my dad, so I'm just gonna go vandalize this landmark.
I have to say, my
Right?
favorite part about this episode though was fucking Gaara's salaryman haircut.
Yes.
Like his hair was just like.
he's had that for a while.
had it for a
though.
while.
Oh, okay, but I just
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it in a
When,
while,
when
so
he
it really.
reformed and became a much
good guy.
better Gaara now,
Yeah.
his haircut also
But
changed.
it is
to
very
reflect that.
salaryman, and it's just like, God, what
But
happened?
it's like it enhances how old you know that
Yes.
you are. And I like that. That was good.
That nerd says, "Worst dad, worst character," referring to Sasuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feelings.
I would say he's only beaten by Bakugo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Bakugo's the
I would
worst.
say that this episode was really cute because it was a good light one, but then
Yes.
the preview. I was more excited about the
Preview
preview.
was-
preview.
the preview was
They're
hot.
going on a school trip next
School trip.
episode.
But it's at the land of water, which is basically they're all
They're going-
swordsmen, which is
Oh,
like
nice,
if
nice,
you think
nice.
about it, it's also like where Zabuza started.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say the same thing.
That was the first trip that they ever went.
Yep.
Like the first off mission trip was to the country of water. So it's like
I was gonna say it was gonna be their beach episode. Also,
It's definitely gonna be their Zabuza episode. There's gonna be
Zabuza
tears.
Someone is
Someone's
going to
gonna
die
die.
in a really sad way.
I mean, because they did kind of set up in this episode for all that most of the action was pretty lighthearted. The stuff going on with Naruto himself was they were setting up that something was kind of amiss.
Yeah. Well, they're also you can like kind of tell that they're setting up for the movie and like all the stuff that happened in the movie because you know they start introducing like the fact that there's a parallel world and then, you know it's like Kaguya and how she had an army and then something is coming and then you've already seen them in the show like eating pears and shit. So it's like
they love pears.
You know,
they love
like
them.
they're all building up to the movie for sure. And I
How much longer do you think we have until we're caught up, like where it gets to?
I mean, I feel like they're gonna at least milk this for at least 2 or 3 seasons before we even get to the Naruto stuff. Because once they get to the Boruto movie stuff, because after that is when all the other stuff starts to happen, like the eye stuff happens, and if you've been caught up on the manga. Like some other powers are introduced, so you know that starts to become like a huge deal again. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm looking forward to like if they're gonna go with the manga or they're not going.
Totally. And Co-op Wilson in the chat says, "I have a feeling I will never watch Boruto because I never saw Naruto." I think that you don't need to watch.
I'm not into Naruto.
Yes.
I'm not, and I love Boruto. Yeah, I really do.
Boruto is definitely more of like a modern rendition of Naruto, which is I would say a little bit more digestible if you're not really like a hardcore like 90s otaku. Like
and I think it introduces like it fills you in on what happened in like Naruto in like a really palatable way. It's digestible.
Yeah, I don't feel lost having not seen Naruto. I mean, I'm certainly familiar with the property, and I think everyone is. If you are into anime at all, you're at least slightly familiar with the property of Naruto.
Yeah.
And Boruto really does break it down in an interesting, palatable, compelling sort of way, while still keeping the focus on the younger characters who are very endearing, in my opinion.
Yeah. They're great.
It's only like what 20 some episodes, so it's
And
you
haven't even gotten
24
like there's not as much. I mean, there's not really any
this was
filler
24,
like the original Naruto series. Like Naruto had a lot of filler, and so like if you're gonna jump on Boruto, like I think it's a good time.
But there's also the idea of like fillers are only there because you know what's going to happen. You know that there is a main arc that from the manga they're going to put in. This has no fillers because that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm sure we'll get to that point when they catch up and they do use the manga, depending on how well the manga actually does. But I don't really see this property going anywhere. Yeah, but I would say if you have ever seen a show that has a kid trying to grow up and has tons of daddy issues.
All the daddy issues.
It's pure shonen.
It's very shonen.
It's pure shonen ninja stuff. So if you like gumbuttering your way to the top, and that's what it is. That's what it is.
I just want to point out, wasn't it Go My Son's one or whatever? He says, does Shino have a kid? No, because Shino is basically the clown of the whole Naruto series, which is super sad.
It's sad.
He's actually a badass. He was a total badass in like the original Naruto, and in this one, they're just like, we need a character for the kids to kick around.
I know they really tear Shino down.
Man.
It's fine.
And
doing
Cooper
dirty
Wilson
like that?
asking about if it's better or worse than Legend of Korra. You can't really compare. I understand the impetus to want to compare them because Korra is a sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I also feel that you can watch Legend of Korra without having seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, and you will still really enjoy it. But Korra takes place much further in the future, whereas Boruto is literally about Naruto's kid.
Yeah. Well, guys, we have a couple more episodes left in My Hero Academia this season. I think we have like 2 more after this, right?
I think only 1 more after this, because remember the first one this season was technically like 13.5.
Right.
So 24 really is 25. So I think next week is the last week of this season.
The main battle.
Which is going to be All Might versus Midoriya and
Bakugo.
But this week we got to see a couple more fights, which we did see. 3 more fights. 3 more fights.
The first one was kind of a wash.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was definitely a wash.
I want to say, though, that I really enjoy the fact that in this series, again, it speaks to sort of the pacing of modern anime where you don't get a whole lot of filler. Because if this show had been made in the 90s, every team up would have had a whole episode
to
themselves.
Looking at you, Naruto.
And they don't.
blow their hair dramatically as they like contemplate each other's souls.
Honestly, they don't
Yeah.
need it. A third of an episode, a half of an episode preparing is completely fine. You get
Totally
a
agree.
sense of who the characters are. They all get their moment to shine, and you move on.
And to be fair, for all the stuff that you see, it's pretty dead on with the manga anyway.
It totally is.
In the manga,
Yeah.
they give it. I want to say they give it like a chapter.
Yes,
maybe
I
a
think
half
each
a
fight
chapter.
was like a chapter.
Was each
There's a
fight a
couple of them
chapter?
were a chapter and some were half a chapter.
Okay.
Like for some reason, I think Mineta was the whole chapter. Mineta's fight.
Mineta.
Yeah.
Even though he was like the worst, there's no redeeming, but at least we get like a little bit in this one. But,
Yeah,
like,
you kind of see, like, I would say that battle in a weird way was like the most character developing of like the last couple of fights for the most part, because Urikara, she basically just kind of like kicks him on accident.
Yep.
And then you kind of find out
She
like
lets go by accident and then falls on the
and
teacher.
then
Mhm.
you kind of you see like she has a crush on him or she doesn't know what her feelings are, but that was a
Ugh.
part of it. Yeah.
Don't even care about that shit.
It kind of. I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like it really made her lose some kind of like depth.
I agree
You know?
because
Like, I'm a girl. I have to be in love
I
with
have
somebody.
to be in
yeah,
love with
that's
the main
that's
character.
exactly how I felt, and
keep
especially
on watching then.
because we brought up the idea previously of Michelle shipping her with money,
Yeah.
and then people basically saying like, "Oh, so you ship her with Momo?"
Momo, and I'm like,
and
yes.
to me, that would be way more interesting.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
think
gonna
that-
happen in a shonen series.
I actually don't
but
think that like
I don't think that's an issue. It
and
won't be an issue.
Yeah,
I
and
promise.
I think
Spoilers.
that they're. I know this is, in terms of not even some spoilers. Just I think Uraraka, like I think she sees him as like a kind of like
Mentor?
like I don't know. She
Yeah,
just is inspired by
it's
him.
inspired by
him,
I
sure.
don't think she'll
Yeah.
end up with him. You know, I
Okay.
just,
yeah.
I mean, maybe
I
if they're
hope
adults,
so.
but I hope like when they're of an appropriate age. Not that it's not appropriate, whatever age you are, love is love.
When Max
Yeah.
gives them their blessings.
Anyway, the point is, I just want them to resolve the bigger problems first, and they can do this little love story, B story thing. But once again, you probably don't
Yeah,
have
main
to,
story,
like,
main
worry
story.
about it.
Yeah.
But
Bad
Yeah.
guys.
Keep to
the
story.
principal,
he's my favorite.
Oh my
principal
god,
was the
principal!
And it's revealed into the people who are just watching the anime that he was an animal who
Yeah.
got a quirk, which I thought is
Which is
super.
great,
We still don't
yeah.
know what he
Which
is.
just
but-
explains why there's so
He
many
is a
animals.
He is a
Coca-Cola
rat.
bear.
Yeah, he. I thought he was a rat.
I
thought
think
he
he
was a
is.
bunny.
He's a rat.
I thought his name is Nezir, right?
Yeah, he's a rat.
Yeah.
He's a rat.
He's
Yeah,
a rat.
he's a rat.
All
And
right,
then
cool.
he is
That's
just
why he has a
smarter than
mace.
humans.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
why
makes
his whole
sense.
thing is
And
like
he's
little
kind of
thing.
sadistic, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, I
Right,
love
right.
that. I love how he
Okay.
he's laughing. He has his
So,
teeth and he's just, like,
when the
shaking
principal
everywhere.
came out, I was so completely lost when I was watching this. I was like, what is this bunny guy in this like giant crane? Like, I don't understand what's
Look,
happening.
Everyone needs a
There you go.
mascot. Superheroes need a mascot,
Yeah.
and it's Principal Nezir, right?
Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah. But I gotta say one final thing about Mineta's fight versus Midnight was that the only redeeming thing is that at
So
least we get to see him use some sort of strategy. It's
Yeah.
cool to see him
That is
actually
true.
strategize and like flee and then
Yeah,
approach it.
you
Like,
realize that like he's not as dumb as it seems, but then you like man.
We're talking about
this
grapes,
guy,
by
he
the
wants
way.
he actually wants to be a hero, right?
always
like,
forget
he's
his
not
name,
just
though.
there for like boobs or whatever. But then
He kind of is because that was sort of his
well,
motivation.
yeah, but his last line ends up being like, I'll forgo the boobs for today, and you're just like, all right,
Yeah, all right.
man, you're a scumbag still.
Well,
Still a scumbag,
his
dude.
impetus though was that he wants to be liked. So it was very like they're like that's a much better motivation. I'm like, is it?
A better motivation
Better
than
than
boobs.
being,
I
than
mean,
being
sexual
like I
harassment
want to
is better than
sexual
sexual
harass
harassment.
women. Like, yeah, I would
yes,
say
but
a
it's
little
not.
bit.
I think to me, I was still kind of like it was like a goof. I was like, all right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
he
he's
gumbato
the-
because he's dumb.
the,
Yeah.
comedy.
He's great.
The
Yeah, he's
Grapes,
great.
grapes,
He's
grapes,
great juice.
grapes, grapes,
I
Great
love Cataclysmic Hell in the chat says about the principal. I thought he was going to turn into a giant polar bear, but he was just using the wrecking ball Miley Cyrus style. It's true.
Oh, what an old
Yeah,
joke.
pretty much. I
remember
was
you.
like, why is this little cute thing in a crane? I don't understand what's happening. in the
Because-
show.
Yeah.
because
You didn't watch first
he
10
was
episodes.
experimented on by humans.
He was.
And now he likes to take revenge, but he is still a hero.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Because he is a good rat at heart.
Yeah.
He's like the master splinter of My
Nope.
Hero Academia.
Yeah. Well, I think we got
So-
one more episode left. We might have it might be one and then like a
And
follow
then a
up.
follow-up.
But
Yeah, that's pretty common.
But the final fight is coming up with
yeah.
Bakugo, Midoriya, and All Might.
Bakugo,
I'm just
the
so
worst
excited to
character
see
ever.
this
The
animated.
The last shot in this episode where Midoriya is just approaching the gates and Bakugo's just there being so angry.
All aggro.
Yeah.
He's at a 10.
So
It's like,
mad.
calm down,
I
dog.
feel like I already feel annoyed. You know, like he's the most annoying anime character ever.
He might actually, like it's hard to disagree with that because his personality is like very, very like aggressive, but also at the same time very plain. Like there's not that much depth to him.
No, he's kind of he's kind of a generic asshole.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm so mad, but why? Because this guy that I grew up with got a quirk suddenly, and I'm mad.
I feel like maybe somewhere down the line, and I know that Max and Matt have read ahead in the manga, and I'm totally going to after the season is over. But I feel like there has to be a why.
There's something there.
They better pull this around and making him Itachi or something.
There is a why, but it's still not enough to excuse his behavior.
Right.
That's true. That's
true. Which is so not par for the course in this series, which for the most part you're presented with a character and you think you know what they're going to be, and they end up being not at all what you expect.
Yeah, they get good motivation.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
It's going to be a long journey for angry little Bakugo.
Yeah.
We'll get there, guys. We'll get there.
Long time.
Well, I hope you guys are excited. I'm super excited about it. And this week we wanted to talk about our main topic, Ancient Magus Bride, which I'm the 3 episode OVA.
Magus Bride.
Magus Bride.
Not Magus.
Magnus. Excuse me.
Magneto's Bride.
It's on Crunchyroll. You guys could check it out. We have it's coming out as a full anime in fall. So in a few weeks, actually.
This is just the OVA, and it's actually titled. It's a little confusing because I noticed the Japanese title is "The Ancient Magus Bride: Those Awaiting a Star," and in the in the Crunchyroll version, they cut that off for some reason, and so you're just like, "Oh, is this the whole thing?" Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess not.
Yeah. It's a little subtitles. So let's take
a look at this trailer.
Take a stab at the
OVA.
I was like, "Oh, is this a commercial?" But it's
it's
is it a commercial.
Is this someone else's?
This is a commercial.
Oh, this is a commercial, huh?
That
was weird.
That was real strange.
Now it's happening.
So this is Chise. This is Elias.
Elias.
He likes to carry her around, a little creepy.
See, I thought that was. We'll talk about it.
But look at this beautiful ass animation.
So pretty.
It is so beautiful. I can't stress enough how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
So the animation is done by Studio. They also did Attack on Titan, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, and Hozoki no Reitetsu. They're very, very famous for being super good at their job. And so they did this.
It's a good thing to be famous for.
Yeah.
Famous for being really good at their jobs.
The trailer is a tiny bit misleading. You kind of think, I'm going to be in a dream world of magic with 3 episodes.
That's not what happens.
Nah, not at all. It's hyper-focused.
I have a lot of questions.
But
I have so many questions.
But it's very beautiful. It's got some good.
It is.
I could put it all together too.
Shall we hit the button because this is definitely spoiler
This
territory.
is spoiler territory.
Spoiler territory.
Yes. Before we get into that, though, real quick, so it's confusing for people because this story takes place as a prequel to the main story, but it was released first by Crunchyroll. The reason is because these 3 episodes were released along with the manga. Like, so for the 6th volume, 7th volume, and 8th volume, they were released in September last year, March this year, and September again of this year.
Yeah, like
so
literally a week ago.
Yeah, so they were meant for people who are already reading the manga to just have a little extra special thing.
Okay,
that makes sense.
That makes so much more sense because I was like, I thought maybe I had missed the fact that there was a whole series of this because I have read that. Actually, I've read the OVA portion of it. That's a part of the manga as well. And what the confusing thing was, like, why is it so far into this story? Because it's like probably, I don't want to say volume 7 or 8. Like, it's really
That's
late.
what the OVA comes from? It's
yeah.
from, oh my God.
It's a side story.
That's kind of where it starts, and then it flashes back to her having
Right.
this side story tale of when she was a child.
Yeah,
one
I
of
can't
those, like,
actually
0.5
remember
manga.
if those characters are even in there. I think it might just be like a side story of her past.
Yeah.
But I guess no.
I feel like I was able to figure it out, especially
I think it's kind of in a way, and obviously it's easy to make this comparison because it is the same animation studio, but if you look at the Attack on Titan OVAs, the like Elsa's Diary thing. Again, I think that if you are not familiar with the actual story of Attack on Titan, even though that takes place in the past, you would be very confused.
Yes.
This is definitely one of those where it's like you can watch it as its own thing. It's just like if you watch Harry Potter and you saw a side story, you saw one of like the Goblet of Fire, you wouldn't necessarily be lost, right? Like you wouldn't.
Sure, yeah.
You would be like, oh, it's about wizards. There's some magic involved, and I guess this vampire sparkly dude, and like this goblet.
It takes the first couple of episodes for me to realize, okay, this is just the world that we're in,
Exactly.
and the actual story being told is this past,
not
is her
really
Yeah,
past.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have not, I haven't read the manga, but I was familiar with the source material, and going into this, I always do research on stuff, and even in the middle of watching something, I like get distracted and just like start looking stuff up about
well,
it.
I mean, does
So-
anyone want a quick synopsis of what this actually is about?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. And in terms of the OVA, did you want to do it? It's like it's a
I'm just
prequel
gonna
about.
Yeah, I'll build up the foundation. So basically, the red-haired girl is
Chise.
what they
Chise.
Chise. Her whole thing is that she's a slave Vega, which is apparently in the human world someone that has like a much spiritual potential, and everything in this world is really more of like a European / like Icelandic folklore. There's a lot less Japanese stuff. In this one, there's a ton of Japanese stuff, but really it's
She's
like
from Japan. Technically.
yeah,
Right, she's from Japan.
It's mostly like the magic that you see in the manga is mostly European. So it's a lot of dragons, a lot of like
Oh what?
fairies,
No way! I would have
Yeah.
never.
Don't worry, you get
gods.
to the dragons in like episode 2, not like season 7, like Game of Thrones.
In this one,
Sick
because
burn.
it's
But basically, but she gets adopted by the guy with the skelly man face.
Yeah.
Elias.
His name
Yeah.
is Elias.
Because he's also a magus, which
He's a
is
magus.
like an ancient magician of
Right.
like unparalleled power. And then once you start reading it, you realize like he does have a human form, but he's basically kind of this
He doesn't really
weird
use it.
magical creature.
Yeah, and
Well,
that's,
I
that's
really-
the whole plot.
Yeah.
And they have wacky adventures together because she's very powerful but doesn't know how to use her
I kind
powers.
of
And
figured
he's
she was definitely
mysterious.
Like, I was able to put it all together.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
for me, I was like, this is like you said, it makes sense why why it didn't quite make sense, but you're
Right.
able to put it together. And I love seeing all the spiritual stuff in the flashback. It's all this
Yeah.
Japanese. It's all very minor in the background kind of stuff. Like when she's in the hospital and you just see this like creepy
old
like.
Yeah.
But it's so distant in the animation. I didn't even like notice it at
I mean,
first. Like,
Yeah.
the animation is
So good.
stunning.
It's incredible.
And I think I was so captivated by the animation, and also particularly, as you say, Matt, the animation of all of these sort of demon things that she was seeing in her past, and the fact that no adult would help this poor child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was absolutely destroying me because I just felt so terrible for her as a kid that she
Yeah.
was in this society that was completely ostracizing her, because
Yeah.
there is
Yes.
sort of this nice parallel there of people who maybe suffer from
Schizophrenia.
yeah, mental
Like mental illness and
exactly.
nobody's, like,
and no
helping
one
her.
is helping
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and it is a real thing.
I actually I felt like that was very prevalent because that was 100% absolutely clear to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, same here.
When I was watching it,
Same
I was
here.
like, what if children that suffer from like schizophrenia and stuff, like they probably don't ever get any help, and
Yeah.
they just like are thrown away to all their relatives or
Ugh.
like foster care.
Yeah.
So it's like that definitely hit me really hard.
And Damoon Rules asks, how old is Chise? And in the
this one.
flashback, she's 13, I believe.
I think she's
Is
No,
she
she's
that
no,
old?
no, no.
She's like a
she's
little-
she's younger. She's 13 in the present, right?
no, she's
15
15
in the present,
She's
yeah.
15 in the present. And
Probably
she's like an
Wait.
8 or
8-year-old.
9.
Yeah.
Well, she's
Yeah.
like a little
She's in-
girl, and
she's in elementary school, so
Okay.
whatever
Okay.
age.
Yeah.
yeah.
A wee baby.
And her little like oversized shorts and little jacket.
Right, 'cause they didn't buy her clothes, they just
animate
gave
her
her-
so cute, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, and the OVA shows that basically the story of the OVA is that in her flashback you find out that her parents were fighting a lot. They end up I won't. No.
That's
Spoiler.
yeah, spoiler.
Sorry,
we already
sorry.
pressed
We
the
hit the
spoiler
button.
button.
the button. Great.
We already pressed the
Happening.
button.
And she just doesn't have any help, and she discovers this library in the forest, this like magical library, this really cool like, this like really
This-
like
this
Oh,
hipster
that-
Japanese
I-
What?
guy.
He was cool to Matt.
Oh yeah, apparently Matt wants to date this guy.
What?
I didn't think
He's
it
a
was-
cool
okay,
guy.
I didn't
He
think
wasn't
he was
cool. He was like,
but
I thought he was
that's what I'm
nerdy.
looking
He was a
compared
nerdy,
to-
like, nice guy.
He was
he was
like
a nerdy
J
nice guy.
drama
Yeah,
hot.
that's
You
what
know
I'm saying.
I mean?
That's exactly what I'm saying. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, J
How many
drama
J
hot.
dramas are you actually
and-
watching?
I don't know.
You know,
I
and-
don't know.
Well, and Damoon Rules saying so the title should be Ancient Magus Child Bride. It's not really like
It's not so.
that.
So in the
Yeah.
OVA, so what we're reviewing is
She's
just the
also
first.
ageless.
What we're watching is the first
Yeah.
3 episodes of the only 3 episodes of the OVA. the story could have probably taken place without them even talking about like the magical like
Exactly.
alias and
Yeah.
stuff. It could have just been the story of
It
her being a
could-
child and having a
exactly.
real shit child.
Yeah, you didn't. I
You
mean,
didn't need
because
that.
basically they frame it with Angelica, who is an associate of Elias's, sending her all of these magical learning materials, and amongst the materials that she gets sent is this picture book called The Lonely Star, which she was very significant to her past, and that is really what a lot of this is about, as well as her delivering on the what was the guy's name? It was started with an M.
I know it started with an M.
Librarian dude.
Yeah.
Librarian,
the
yeah.
Japanese drama.
Yeah, J drama hot librarian.
But what
dude.
is not an elementary kid married to a monster.
No,
That's
no,
No,
that's
it's
not
not.
that.
It's
not
No,
that.
that-
If anything,
that is
it's-
a different story, and also they're not technically. Well, I guess that's technically his bride. The reason that
It's a whole other
beginning
story.
is like
It's a whole
she
other
basically
story.
she gets sold into slavery, and like the Magus Skull dude buys her and is like, I'm going to groom you into being my bride.
Yeah.
But it's really more like
There's
I'm
really
going
no
to
way of
groom
saying
her
there's
into
no
a
way to
mature-
out
There's
loud.
no way of
It's-
saying it without it sounding without it sounding
But it's
creepy,
not a
not
human
creepy.
being.
Yeah.
You got to understand, this is like a totally like elemental creature.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't really put it in the same category, and he doesn't have like
And-
super creepy intentions.
And the OVA, like, at first you would think that, oh, he's like, no, but it just,
Yeah.
she reminds him of someone.
And
Yeah.
as a standalone
We discover
story,
more.
it kind of very much was reminiscent of like Spirited Away.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
what I
Exactly.
saw a lot of.
To me, I felt that there were a lot of themes that you would
Yeah.
see in a Miyazaki film, and a lot of the visuals that they used were, again, more unique to their own style, but very reminiscent of some of the Studio Ghibli works.
And that's why I think it's worth watching
It's
this.
Totally.
worth
If you
watching.
watch this, I'm sure you'll be very interested in Magus Bride, especially because
Yeah.
Magus Bride gets crazy in the manga.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And
Is it Magus or Magus?
Magus.
Oh,
Magus.
I've been saying Magus.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that
I
question.
I think it's
It's
Magus.
no.
Wait, if it's
I think
based
it's
on
Magus.
if it's based on like Norse, it's Magus.
Magus.
Okay, so it's Magus.
Okay.
I trust.
We are teaching
Yume
everyone.
to know that.
Yeah.
If it has to do with Norse
the
mythology.
Norse otaku here.
She's gonna know. She's gonna know. But I do agree that even if watching this you are confused, I think that you'll be confused but intrigued, not
Yeah.
confused and put off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's very beautiful, but I feel like there was kind of an issue with why did they release it before the before the actual series?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
now it kind of makes sense because it
But they're
is
trying to
like-
draw an interest.
Yeah.
Teaser,
Because if
confusing
I watch
teaser.
this, I would definitely want more. I would
Yes.
definitely want to see the series.
Yeah, this
so.
makes me very excited to watch.
Yeah, because
the
I watched it
series.
and I was just like, did I miss the anime series? And I tried to like figure out if I'd missed it, and I was like, oh, it's coming out. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's also coming out this season, I believe.
Yeah.
It's
next
coming out
month.
in a few weeks.
October 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what
there
a
you go.
good way to like wet your palate,
Fine.
see if it's something that you like and something you'd be
Yeah.
into. So
Yeah,
definitely
and-
check it out.
Yeah.
And as
I
an
recommend
OVA, I do think that it does work. I just think that just understand going into it that it is a prequel to something that's already established, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, it's less about spells. It's really more about just the spiritual world.
Yeah, and also you could potentially start, either reading the manga or watching the full
manga
anime series when it starts
is
airing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then just,
It'll explain
check
it.
it out.
yeah, I always really suggest the manga. I think we need to start having like a manga corner.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Because like
We have a whole show where it's
I
just
just
Oh, God,
I
I
read
could
like 3 hours
do
of
it.
manga every night. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
I read
joke.
a shit ton of manga every night.
And it's not like, and it's not like I know what's popular or anything. I just go through and look at random things. And they
Yeah.
always end up turning into anime. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. And I gotta say that everything about it was really pretty. And I was watching it I watched it last night when the earthquake happened. I was like, whoa, weird.
Tiniest earthquake.
But it was just like really the animation, the music, like the heart behind it. I thought was really
Oh.
touching.
Magus.
Thank you.
Magus.
Gamer
Middle
at
Eastern.
KMCD
But I don't
says
think
Magus.
that Yume's wrong about
Yeah.
the Magus and Norse mythology thing.
Yeah.
Magus.
Yeah. Well, guys, we have a quick trailer for the upcoming the season of it coming out.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and check it out, guys. Let's do it.
Pixel Planet. Thanks, Pixel Planet.
Thanks. Well,
Thanks,
nope,
thanks,
there, all
Pixel
right.
Planet.
There it is.
Nope. Buildings, animation. Oh
so
shit,
good.
subs. I got all excited.
This is a fan sub.
I know.
It might not even see any
Yeah,
of this.
exactly.
Shh, I'll be the Judge Judy of that.
And she-
Nah, I can't even. It's fine. It's a long trailer. She's
Yeah.
basically sad for a while.
Yeah, she's.
So this is her. I believe she tries to kill herself. I want to say.
Oh, man.
Man,
Waiting
this is
for
like-
a lot of suicide.
This is she tries to kill herself and then she's like, and then this dude comes and is like, you want
Oh
to be a
right,
slave?
right,
I'll
right,
just
right, right,
sell
right.
myself into slavery instead.
Spoilers. Dude, look at that. Ugh. Look at these beautiful. Look at this beautiful ass animation.
Oh, it's so nice.
Get them thorns.
If you're just tuning in, we're just live reacting to things now.
Yeah.
Boosh.
It's so beautiful though.
It's an eyeball. It's a
Look
home.
at that. Look at
Look at
that.
that.
It's very like Ghibli and it's picturesque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a scene where like they eat pancakes with bacon over it.
Oh,
and I was
those-
like,
those
it
pancakes
looks
look
so
so good.
delicious.
it's such a Ghibli thing to do.
Yeah.
Aww.
Also the rats when the rats like.
I
kinda
love the
roll.
little
Oh,
fairy
those are
lady.
hilarious.
Cute. So
Yeah,
cute.
that was very Ghibli.
And
thing as well.
Selkie, so dumb.
I love Selkie.
She has a backstory.
Dude.
Dragons, look, dragons.
there's actually
Immediately
dragons.
dragons.
Yay!
And those are the four. That's the
yeah.
forest.
That's the fairy queen.
Morgana, I
Angelica.
Here's some guys in a street. Then he carries her
Oh,
along for
believe.
some
Dope,
reason.
dope magicians.
The dog story is very cute. He's a little backstory.
Oh,
Yep.
there he is.
This is scary as fuck. Also, she's very like just kill me, and it's kind of like oof, oof, oof. Yeah. Oh.
I gotta say, like, I love the use of like different, like spiritual stuff in different
Yeah.
regions,
Yeah,
and
me
that
too.
you know what I mean. I think it's so smart.
See, he's a
And
little
that's
boy.
Ruth.
So cute.
That's Ruth. He's a black dog.
I love Ruth. He was my favorite.
He's like my dog. My dog's a girl.
Ruth and Yurio from Yuri on Ice have the same saying.
Yes.
I
kinda look
recognized his
similar.
voice right
Yeah, I
away. I was
recognized
like,
the
oh, that's
voice.
gonna be my favorite character.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's a long trail.
oh,
I love
oh.
how they're animating the dog with a super long tail. It's very cute.
It is really cute.
It's because
It's very
she
magical.
finds her light at the end.
Oh, guys, let's all move into a cottage, and we have a dog.
I know.
Aw.
Let's cancel the rest of our lives and just live in a
Yeah.
cottage
Let's
in
go.
a field with dogs.
Whoop.
Well.
I'm like, don't worry, it's kind of funny. We just threw that in so you can
Yeah,
confuse.
So that's gonna be. I'd say it's gonna be
I think
probably
it's gonna
one
be
of the
really good.
best series.
in,
There's-
in
but-
next fall,
100%.
first in this fall.
but
yeah.
next week we'll have a
We'll have
showdown
a
of
full,
what's gonna be.
We'll have a
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
fall preview.
Next week will be our fall preview, guys. So make sure to tune in for that.
So this was kind of a little precursor to that because it is a precursor to a
this.
show that is coming this fall.
Whoa,
Hey.
hey, you can watch it right
That's
now.
how we create tangents. and
Yeah, we
connections
do.
and stuff.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I loved it. I hope you guys get a chance to watch the OVA before it comes out. But now it's time for some Fuzakeru!
Yeah.
I realized you try to
yes.
say that word, but it's fuzakeru.
Fuzakeru! Wow.
What we're gonna do is a little game. Wait, hold
That's
on.
what I say.
Okay.
Let me turn into Games Master. Hold on.
Okay.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. All right, everybody. Today the game is listen to what I'm saying, even though you can't hear me, and try to figure out what anime catchphrases or character names I'm saying. So these could be sentences, they can be character names, they can be special attacks.
Okay.
They could just shit from anime. Okay.
Okay.
What
Oh,
you're gonna
wow,
do is
that-
everyone's gonna
that's
put on their headphones,
not gonna be
turn
super
on,
broad.
and you're gonna turn on your sound, your music, so loud that you can only. If I'm talking like this, you can't really hear me.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And then if you guys think you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna repeat it a couple times and I'll put my fingers up. Hit the button. Got
Type.
it?
Got it.
All right, everyone get ready.
That can't be too hard.
That
Sure,
took
it's
my
only a piece of cake.
headphones, so I have no
Here
we
headphones.
go.
Got my little bag of tricks.
I'll
You guys
do
ready?
my best here.
Don't forget
Hold
you
on,
have
I
to hit
gotta
the
turn the
button.
volume
Don't
You just have to just mouth it. Don't actually say
I'm
it.
gonna say it, but I'm gonna say
Are
it
you
like
going?
this.
I go.
I can't tell. Okay.
Okay.
Pierce the heavens.
What?
I can't see your mouth because the mic.
Pierce the heavens.
Oh. Pierce the heavens?
Yeah! Very
That
nice.
was too easy.
So that's 1 point for you. Pierce the heavens. So that kind of stuff.
Trying to ear
Yeah.
muss.
Okay. Good?
All right.
Well,
let's go.
look, I thought I had headphones, but Matt stole my headphones.
Are these in English and
Oh
Japanese?
my god, Max.
Are these in English and Japanese or?
They're all in English.
Oh!
I on purpose
oh!
didn't make it too complicated.
Okay, tight. Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
changed my thought
I'm gonna
process.
I'm gonna go over here so Evan doesn't have an advantage. Okay, ready?
Don't cover your mouth.
Okay.
Wait, wait.
This one's very easy. Well, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Wait, why am I singing? That's
Oh
not
my
how-
gosh.
All right,
Max is the worst.
okay, go on. You can do it now.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Nico Nico ni. Okay, that was the first time. Nico Nico ni.
Kaizokuni. I know you said.
No.
I know you. That's wrong.
okay.
What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say?
Kaizokuni Hore wa Naru?
No. It's much easier. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Third time.
Okay.
Was that right?
No.
Oh.
It was not.
I can't see your lips.
Okay. Nico Nico ni.
Goni Goni?
No.
Nico Nico Ni.
Yes!
Damn it.
So it's Nico Nico Ni from Love Live. So this is how you.
I got the
credit
E.
points.
I got the E out of there.
Oh, guys. And if you guys like think you're kind of close, just say it. It's fine. Just say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just go
Just,
for it.
you know, be
This
funny.
is a
You-
game that I'm clearly bad
I'm
at.
just
Yeah, I'm really bad at reading lips, so this
Yeah,
is
me
great.
too.
Okay, this is a good
Okay,
one.
go.
Ready? You are already dead.
What?
You are already dead.
You are already dead?
Yes! From Fist of the North Star! Or no, you are already dead. It's from Fist of the North Star, or you'd say, Omae mo shinderu. So that's good. You got that.
Yeah.
You got that.
Yeah.
You got
Give
that,
that to
guys.
me.
You got that, guys.
You're already dead, man.
Okay.
Damn it.
Ready? This one's very easy. And again, this is in English, okay?
Okay.
See you later, Space Cowboy.
Oh, see you later, Space.
Yay!
What?
It was see you, see you
what was
later,
it? Oh, my
Space
bad.
See you,
Cowboy.
Space Cowboy. Oh, okay.
Yes.
How can you tell?
How can you tell? I can't tell.
Okay. This one's done. I'm not doing this one. Okay. Even though I made these. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
I mustn't run away.
I'm going to cry.
No! Bah. And you got, I mustn't run away.
I'm the chosen one.
No! Ready? It's the third time. I mustn't run away.
One more time.
I mustn't run away.
I'm going to win.
No!
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm going to find the way.
No. Do you want to have a guess, Emma?
No.
It's I mustn't run away from Evangelion.
I
mustn't run away from Evangelion.
Oh,
Shinji
that
no
was
Baka.
Shinji.
we picked the
Okay.
hardest games to play.
All right.
That's great.
To be fair, I pick the games.
All right, here we go.
Okay, ready? Kamehameha.
Kamehameha.
Hey! Very nice. What's the score so far? You have 2.
Max is
I'm
2.
zero
two.
again.
You're at 0,
I'm
you
so bad
won.
at these lip games, dude.
all right.
Music games are not
This
my
is
jam.
terrible.
This is terrible. Okay, there's like 4 more.
Okay, tight.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
It was me, Dio.
It was me,
Mayo.
Dio.
No? What'd you say, Max?
It was me, Dio.
Yes! It was me, Dio!
Oh,
Max is so. I think he's won almost all the games we've played so far.
I know. He's the
All right.
best at games.
It was me, Dio.
It was me, Dio.
Okay.
Ready? Pikachu, I choose you.
I know
trying to
it's
make it
not
harder.
right, but I
Ready?
could have sworn you said, "Bitch, I'll kill you."
No, ready? Pikachu, I choose you.
I can't see her
Can't
lips.
see her
Oh,
lips.
sorry.
What?
Pikachu, I choose you.
Pikachu, I choose
Yes!
you.
Yes!
Are you serious?
Pikachu,
Yes.
was it Pikachu? I choose.
Pikachu,
you?
I choose you.
I was like, I'm seeing a P.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Okay,
cool.
okay.
This is a very short one. Ready?
Hold on, I gotta get a song. Okay, I'm good.
Believe it.
Believe it.
Yes! Why is Max so good at every game? It's really weird.
I don't
Why
know.
are you so good at this, Max?
Because that's my life. I just play games.
last
Life
Okay,
is
guys,
a game.
this is the last
Last one, here we go.
Ready?
This one.
The Pirate King.
The Pirate King.
Wait, what was it?
Everybody. The Pirate King.
I think you got me like
nice.
right
Thank
there.
you
You
guys.
got me.
So who is the winner? We have 3.
I got 3.
Definitely,
One.
it's definitely Max.
Look how many
4, 5.
you guys.
4.
Thank,
They beat me by 1.
thank you guys for playing my game.
Yeah.
I
Next
was
week.
jamming to Hamilton. I was
Yes.
very distracted.
Yes,
I actually play like metal music, so this is great.
Nice. If you guys have any suggestions for games, please let us know in the chat or on Twitter or on our what do you call it?
Discord.
Discord, hop in that Discord.
Channel.
And remember, guys,
Tweet at us. Hashtag HyperOtaku.
Yes.
We love hearing from you.
Yes.
And don't forget, it's September, half off all first-time
September.
subs here. And
Do it.
And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time for questions. I'll make sure to fit
We
that
do
in
not.
next time.
We do not.
But don't forget, next week is our fall anime preview. Tune in for that. Tell everyone about it. Help us spread the word of this show because we
Yes.
want to make sure we get all of our otaku friends in here.
Yeah.
So let's get everyone in here, man. Let's party.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's party.
What's our sign off?
Our sign off
Was it
is.
something about squeezing.
Oh, give it a squeeze.
Squeeze.
Give it a
I
squeeze.
don't know.
I
Thank you
don't
guys so much. We'll see you soon. Stick around for Ride
See ya,
Ramble.
bye.
Don't forget, give it a
Give it a
squeeze.
squeeze.
Give it a squeeze.
No.
Give it a squeeze.